What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back to another video, and today we are going to be doing another mock the mock on TDN. I'm glad they're starting to pump out some more content, and I also saw the thumbnail image on this, and I was like, oh boy, gotta take a look at this one. So obviously, if you guys are new, like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do. Let's get right into the video. No time to waste, obviously in school right now, so making the most out of the time that we do have. Looking at the first overall pick, Spencer Rattler seems to be pretty consistent across the board. He is the kind of like the Trevor Lawrence of this year. Not saying that he is Trevor Lawrence caliber. It's just he's pretty much a guaranteed lock at one at this point. I mean, obviously things can change. Deshaun Watson wants to stay with the Texans, then we could see what happens. But the chances there are really low. Next, we got KT. Another kind of like it's pretty common to see him at number two. You know, obviously since they got Penny Sewell last year and Taylor Decker, it's not like they can go after Evan Neal, nor should they really want to. If they want to put him in a guard, that'd be kind of rude. But still, you know, KT is an excellent player. You know, former Oaks Christian Lion. I mean, he's exactly what you're looking for. And he's actually the guy who I was trying to say last time I was talking about the Lions is Trey Flowers, not Eric Flowers. So apologies on that. It was Trey Flowers that I was talking about. He could be what they were trying to look for in Trey. So next, we got the Bengals going to Evan Neal. This seems to be, again, a pretty consistent top three. It could change. You know, apparently people are talking about Jamar Chase not being too great. What, he had a couple drops, you know, happens. I still think Jamar's going to be really solid. I did actually have for quite a bit of time. And I didn't show you guys this, but it was like there was a good consideration to put Jalen Waddle as my number one and Jamar Chase as two. There was just some things on tape that I didn't like, but there are some excellent traits down the line. And the thing that we all have to do is wait, because that's the hardest thing to do. It's like, oh, Mac Jones looks like the best. He grades out the best. You got to wait because, again, he could just be Jimmy G, which is what we thought. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's why we had 5 first-round quarterbacks, right? So, or not 5. Do we have 5? No, do we have 5? Damn, we did. That draft's insane. But you just got to wait because some players are ready now. Mac Jones, some players take time to develop. Jamar Chase was off for an entire year. Let's give him a little bit of a break. But Evan Neal, stud, 300. Well, right now it says 350. It ranges up to 370 depending on what he actually wants to do, what year. But he's an absolute physical monster. I love him. Jets going Derek Stingley. Yeah, another one. Like, there's just a bona fide top 4 guys in this class, in my opinion. I don't really have Spencer Rattler as a top 4 guy, but still like a bona fide 4 guys who should be going in the top 4. And it's those. I think they're absolutely great. And then 5, this is a guy who's arguably also a bona fide top 5. So this list is kind of getting boring, right? Kyle Hamilton, he is just an athletic freak. I don't have him as my safety one, and that's just because I have an absolute adoration for my guy, Brandon Joseph. But that's not saying anything wrong about Kyle Hamilton, who is literally at number 6, right behind Brandon Joseph at 5. Kyle Hamilton has the size, has the speed. He has flashes of intellect right there. I want him to get a little bit more quick with his intellect. I saw that he reacted pretty late to some routes going over the top of him. But there's room for development there. And it's not like he didn't show that he had that ability to process. He showed it, and he's super young. So there's a lot to love about Kyle Hamilton. I know a lot of people have him as their number 1 guy, and that's 100% fair. I would not argue with you. Again, also he plays a different position than Brandon Joseph. Brandon Joseph is going to be much more of a rangy ball hawk. Kyle Hamilton is very much more all around. Eagles going Jackson Kirkland. Whoa. So for the record, I literally did not look at this before. I love doing a raw reaction with you guys, but that is interesting. I don't like it because I don't think Jackson Kirkland's a top 6 player nor a top 10 player, but he is extremely talented. I just cannot see the Eagles be at number 6 and saying, oops, let's just get a tackle. Like that doesn't sit right with me. Jordan Mailata is really damn good, but it's like, can you go Jackson Kirkland in the spot? If you had Evan Neal there, then we could consider it. The value's not good enough. Jackson Kirkland's pretty damn light as well. He's, I believe, 6'7", 295. Like, that's a real tough one to squeeze through. I don't think anything can convince me here. If you're at that position, I don't think this draft as trades. You either trade back and maybe get a guy like Sam Howell, because again, there's too many unknowns with Sam. We're gonna start finding out this weekend about how he's gonna actually fare. Speaking of the man himself, but man, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Jackson Kirkland, though, definitely not worth that pick. That's where if you wanted to trade back, that's where you could do it. But no, just no. I would personally go after a guy like Sam Howell if I couldn't move. It's just you take a shot on a quarterback at that point. If you're at number 6 because of your own fault, deal with it, right? Number 7, Sam Howell going to the Falcons. I like it because he also has time to develop. I don't think the Falcons need to go quarterback, and some of you guys said that, and I totally agree. Because I think I did my own like NFC South, and I got Malik Willis, but I got Malik Willis in the second. So I don't know why people were bitching about it. If that happens, then pop the champagne, red panties night. You know the deal. This is a bit rich. It's a bit rich for me. There's a lot more holes on this roster. I mean, Sam Howell deals with a shit offensive line as it is, but let's hold off on that. I think a guy like DeMarvin Leal would be a better addition to the Falcons, who need help everywhere. So DeMarvin Leal is an absolute stud as well. Big fan of him. He's probably going to be an edge more than interior defensive lineman. So I'd probably take that out of there. He's 290 pounds, but he also plays like he's 260, which is it's not a knock. It's saying how damn athletic he is. He is unbelievable. I think he is kind of like what I want Milton Williams to become. And that's a pretty high bar. How much I love Milton Williams. I was thinking about putting him in the first, right? I love Milton. Drake Jackson, man, what is up with these people with their boners for Drake Jackson? It might have been Sean Ryan who just pretty much said, "Hey, screw you." But I gotta do another deep study dive on Drake Jackson. There we go. Had a tough one right there. He looked ineffective in all accounts against Sean Ryan, who will probably not be in this draft. Like, not in this draft, but like in this mock draft. I don't know, guys. You guys got to convince me on that one, because I just genuinely cannot fathom the Giants going another edge, for one, but two, Drake Jackson even going nearly this high. But we're not even talking about the Giants. It's a BS pick for the Giants, who, if they're at this spot, you're looking for a quarterback or looking to trade back. Again, there are some. I like the next pick. There are some, like, I can't. I have to go with a quarterback there, right? You have to. That's just, I can't do that. Brandon Joseph for the Panthers. You know how much I love Brandon Joseph. That's a ballsy pick, in my opinion. I think offensive line is a huge gap right there. But then again, you do have Jackson Kirkland already taken. Man, I love the idea of him and Chin. It's just weird. It's just weird to think about that, because I think the improvement needs to happen more on the offense than anything. Giants, again, getting Darian Kennard. So the Giants got Drake Jackson. It's stupid. And Darian Kennard. I like how they put him as interior offensive lineman. They need to do that. But again, like, what are we trying to get out of Darian Kennard here? You just want to run the ball? Is that it? He can't pass protect. He has a lot of room to grow there. And I don't think the Giants are the best spot for someone to grow. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they're going to develop off the line that well, because they have a bunch of guys who are extremely talented that aren't living up to their potential. Darian Kennard probably will be another one if that happens. I just don't really like these Giants picks. And honestly, I can't stand it. Cardinals going Andrew Booth. I think the Cardinals want someone more aggressive. I do have Andrew Booth as my number 2 corner, but it's really BS. It's a tie for number 2 corner between 3 dudes. And you guys know the 3. So in corner, right position, probably just the wrong player. I don't think that the Cardinals are probably looking for somebody as loose and as athletic as Booth. You want someone a little more gritty, especially in a division. Like, you think about the wide receivers in the division. Like DK Metcalf, yeah, he has speed, but he's going to make Andrew Booth his for trying not to cuss on camera, his little puppy, right? You already know what word I was about to use there. But then you got like Tyler Lockett, who, it's not like this dude's 4.2 speed. They are fast as hell, but the wide receivers in the division are not Tyreek Hill. I don't think you need to be saying like, crap, we are going to be having pretty much our corners get toasted every game. You want someone with a little more juice, a little more sauce, or Kaiir Elam. Get a little more pressure, a little more press on them to be able to be a little more aggressive. That's the word I was looking for. Andrew Booth's not your guy, but he's extremely talented. Cannot complain. Carson Strong as the number 3 quarterback in this class is a ballsy move. Yeah, I just got to see more of him. I really do. I saw one really good game and one pretty shit game. See, got to balance out the cussing, right? It's just not my vibe. Not my vibe. And then Jurkovec going as the 4th quarterback. I literally said the comp for Phil Jurkovec is Ben Roethlisberger, ask Brushmouth. And it's a great comp. You get a thick ass dude with when his feet are set right, a cannon for an arm. I don't think his actual arm strength is that great. His throw strength is pretty damn good. When he's off platform, I don't think his arm is that powerful. But he is very similar to Ben. So I think the scheme fit is right. The value is wrong. Djokovic is a long way to go. Vikings going Trent McDuffie. I just don't know what the fear is of being able to get one of the more press heavy corners here. Trent McDuffie is really solid all around. Didn't really surprise me in anything though, which might mean that he translates pretty well or might translate pretty poorly. I think that you look at Sauce Gardner and Kaiir Elam, they brought on Patrick Peterson for a reason. You want a little more juice, a little more press in there. And I just don't really get it. I don't get why certain guys are dropping, because these guys are obviously, McDuffie is inferior to Kaiir Elam or Sauce Gardner, in my opinion, as well as many others. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to fathom. Broncos going Zion Nelson. Interesting, to say the least. I mean, if you do have a quarterback on the board like a Malik Willis, and I'm just going to check to make sure he didn't go and I skipped him, because it seems a little bit out of, I didn't skip him. So he's still on the board. It's like, you're literally benching Drew Lock for Teddy Bridgewater. The tackle is definitely a position I would look at, for sure. Let's get that out in the air. I don't think Zion Nelson's that good. It's not bad. I definitely have him in my first round territory, but it's not worth the Broncos going after him right there. That's where you go after a quarterback or trade down, trade up, do whatever the hell you need to do. Get Deshaun Watson. I don't know. Just do something, except get a tackle that is pretty much built for he's pretty much designed for a running quarterback. He'd fit really well in the Ravens. I think that he's very mobile. I think he's a worse version of Charles Cross. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Charles Cross at this pick, maybe, because he has time to develop as well. This team's not ready without a quarterback. So, that could have been something. Okay. But let's just hold off on Zion Nelson there. Chargers going Myjai Sanders. I think that it's very unimpressive, but I think he'd work on the Chargers. It's just, again, I'm not a big fan of him. I used to be a big fan until I actually watched him very closely. He plays like 290 at 260. Seems very unathletic. And Broshmo talks about his arm length. I don't really see that, or arm size, and I don't really see that being an issue. It's just, I don't really get that oomph aspect that I want to get from Myjai. Like, I've seen flashes of it, but man, there are just some really negative plays on tape, in my opinion. It's just not good. Chris Olave to the Patriots. Love it. Not even going to talk about it. That's a great pick. Saints game, Matt Corral. You're going to go from Jameis to Matt. It seems like you're pretty much making a lateral move, in my opinion, and you guys know how much I like Matt Corral. You're literally just going sideways, and you're getting younger, and maybe cheaper, but this team needs a hell of a lot more than Matt. So I'd question that pick right there. Maybe for me, I'd rather be looking at a wide receiver. You still got Garrett Wilson on the board. Cornerback, you still got Sauce and Kaiir. There's just better positions than quarterback in that spot. And that's talking about a team that just made the playoffs for the Saints. I think that there's still potential there. Eagles getting Sauce. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's a great pick. They took advantage of the board falling to them. Cowboys getting Kenyon Green. I think they could do that. I definitely think they could do that. Connor Williams, in my opinion, isn't that great. He definitely took a big step up, but I don't think that it's going to stop you from getting a guy like Kenyon Green, which I'm happy he's not going like the top 10 of drafts anymore. people are saying like, oh, it's disgusting that that he fell to like 25 for me. That's kind of it seemed more realistic now with all the draft guys than before. So just saying. Jets getting Jaleel Billingsley. Let's hold off because I'm pretty sure that the guy out of Ole Miss, Kenny Yeboah, who I was a big fan of, by the way, had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in his last preseason game. Again, preseason. Who cares? But it shows something, right? So let's hold off on getting a guy who had absolutely 0 targets, pretty much in 28 receptions in his career before putting him into the number 22 spot. I don't think tight end is the one big thing that Jets should be really looking for. Charles Cross to the Colts, don't mind it. I think they should go after a bigger dude, but Charles Cross certainly could be worth that pick. Somebody who has a lot of room to grow. Maybe you want to get a guy more like Thayer Munford who could start. Maybe you could do that in the second round. Start right away and be able to play at a solid level. Cross, higher ceiling. Mumford, much higher floor. This team needs to make the Super Bowl because they do have guys who are in their prime. I think that'd be the best case scenario. Titans getting Christian Harris. Sure. I think the issue is more edge, but honestly, I think Christian Harris has too high of an upside. I think that he could have honestly went if you went right here to the Jets and said Jaleel Billingsley, and then you put like Adam Anderson here, we're on the same page. Browns getting Aiden Hutchinson. I think it fits. I just am not that big of a fan of Aiden Hutchinson. That's all I gotta say. Good area of selection though. I think you should probably go after someone more high end, like a Nick Benito, or I mean, if you want to get after a bigger dude, Kingsley a Nagbear. I think Aiden Hutchinson is kind of more of a safe pick, and this is a team that is fully loaded, so you don't need to go safe. Dolphins Brandon Smith. I haven't had a chance to look at him to be 100% honest with you guys. But he definitely, I mean, the Dolphins going after just a pure linebacker here. I think you want to go after more of an edge. There are a lot of guys who do fit really well there. You talk about Nick Benito, Adam Anderson. Speaking of the man himself, I think there's just better options. But I'm not going to say anything about Brandon Smith because I'm not going to give you guys a BS report on my end. Nick Benito, the very high end reps. I think that he could make it a little bit more impactful. He has a weird running style. It's hard to explain without showing you guys the tape, which again, YouTube, God bless them. Just kidding. They don't allow me to put all 22 tape on here. Also, it'd be a pain in the ass having to put all that together. But regardless, Nick Benito is a really damn good target for the Ravens. Would rather have them go after a bigger dude, like a bigger outside linebacker, but I really can't complain because Nick Benito is a really good player. And he'd work there. We all know there's certain teams that like when they draft an edge, it's gonna work. Like Matt Judon just got signed for $50-some million, right? He wasn't gonna get jacked before that. Packers, George Pickens, not playing for an entire year after probably being considered like a round 2 at best guy to being a top 28 pick. Probably something the Packers would do. Their first wide receiver in like the first round, they're just like, you know what, screw it. We're just gonna get George Pickens. And no, I just that's an overvalue. Right position, just overvalue. Tyler Linderbaum, I don't know what's up with the draft network just boning over the fact that Tyler Linderbaum's gonna fall to 29 and go to the Bills. Every single one. Tyler Linderbaum. Don't get it. Malik Willis to the Lions, honestly, I think that it's more crazy to say he falls to 30 than he goes at 2. Hot take. But cheers to the Lions. I take it. Jordan Davis to the Buccaneers. Don't think he's the second best interior defensive lineman in the class, but I like the idea. He's a pretty big ass dude. He's able to plug the hole very well. I think they're just trying to get a backup for Ndamukong Suh for when he eventually moves on. So definitely a quality depth guy who has potential to move up into starting. I don't know if that's worth the 31st pick, but it's not my draft. Chiefs going Treylon Burks, excellent selection. By the way, Garrett Wilson, I don't think was selected in this. If you swap him right there, then we can start talking. Be a little better. Treylon Burks absolutely would hate this because he was a really good fit. I just don't want the Chiefs to become continuously the best team, hands down. There needs to be some competition here. So Brentley, no disrespect, there was a lot of picks in here that had my head scratching. Kyrie Elam didn't go. Garrett Wilson didn't go. There's just like some very big Y picks. So that's my take. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.